In this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 things you did not know about working 2 jobs as an overemployed person. Before I get into that, we have a Black Friday sale running right now for only this week, limited time only, 60% off on the Overemployed Masterclass. We teach you how to become and how to stay overemployed for the long term. So check that out. It's a very big sale. We don't do these often. So number 1, you don't need to be an expert. A lot of people have a misconception that if you want to be overemployed, you have to be an expert in your field or given skill set. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. Now, obviously, if you're a complete beginner, it will be more difficult for you to acquire new positions. However, even as a junior employee, you can easily become overemployed relatively quickly, and you don't need to get expertdom to succeed in this endeavor. Okay, number 2, you can pull it off quickly. It doesn't mean that you'll have to take years and years or even months and months to become overemployed. If you have multiple job offers from one phase of interviewing in your current career phase, you can accept both offers, and even after a month or 2 of applying to jobs, you can become overemployed. So if you optimize your resume, if you optimize your application strategies like we talk about on this channel, and your job search strategies, you can become overemployed relatively quickly. It doesn't need to take years. Number 3, you don't need to work long hours. So a lot of people have another misconception that if you're overemployed, you're going to be working 50-hour weeks, 60-hour weeks, maybe even 70-hour weeks. But again, that is really far from the truth. Now, you will be working longer hours than just one position, of course, but you will still be able to keep it easily within a 9 to 5 range. So a lot of people still work less than 40 hours, even though they're overemployed. So don't get scared thinking that you're going to have to sacrifice your weekends and your evenings if you want to be overemployed. Number 4, it can be super sustainable. So you can do this in the long term, right? You don't have to make this a quick run and pump money scheme just to generate some quick cash for a few months and then quit. You can do this sustainably, but again, you have to position yourself for that, right? So there are some people that don't care and they'll underperform just because they want to get some quick cash, and then they don't care about losing their job or being fired or being forced to quit, essentially. But if you position yourself properly, if you actually take the right measures to make sure you excel in whatever position, in whatever company you're working at, you can definitely do this for the long term, for years to come. Number 5, you can do it in any field. So some people think you have to be in tech or you have to be a programmer to become overemployed. But again, not true. If you are able to work from home, you can be overemployed. Now, obviously, some positions are better than others. However, overall, as long as you have the freedom to work from home, you can become overemployed. Number 6, it's a matter of time before you get caught. So a lot of people are constantly thinking in the back of their head that eventually something will happen. Either they'll slip up or their employer will reach out to their other employer somehow and find out, and it'll all come crashing down and you will get caught. Not true, guys. 99% of the time, someone that stops being overemployed, it's simply just because they were underperforming and they either got let go or they had to quit themselves because it just got too uncontrollable, the workload. So very rarely will people get caught, and it's not something that you should expect. Number 7, if you want to be overemployed, you have to be an evil person or a liar. Again, not true, guys. Obviously, there's a lot of things we don't tell our coworkers, our managers, and that goes for every part of your life, right? You talk about work at work, and if you want to talk about your personal life, you can, but you don't have to make up extravagant lies, or you don't have to sacrifice your morals to become overemployed. What we're doing is simply making more money. We want more money, and we're still putting in good work, and we have valuable skill sets that multiple companies want from us. So we're just leveraging that skill set to have multiple contracts with multiple companies. There's nothing evil about this inherently, right? Number 8, being overemployed is, obviously people think about the extra freedom and money you gain, but they don't realize there's an extra layer of protection when things go wrong. So let's say you have 2 or 3 remote jobs, and one of the companies does a layoff. You will still be safe. You will still have at least one remote job, right? Let's say you only had one job and you got laid off. You'll instantly be forced to start job searching. You'll have no income. You'll have to go on unemployment, and you'll have to make ends meet struggling while you're job searching, right? And that can be very stressful and very difficult at times. And it can even lead to very dire situations, right? People losing their cars, their homes, whatever, not being able to provide for their family. And being overemployed gets that extra layer of protection because if you lose one job, you still have one job left, right? So it's something people don't think about, but it does happen relatively often, especially now in this economy. And it's something that saved a lot of people from going completely broke. Number 9, you have to be able to break rules. So you don't have to be an evil person or a liar, but you do have to be able to break rules, and that does not make you a bad person, right? So there's a lot of unspoken rules or social contracts people go into working in corporations. But overall, a lot of these rules can be bent and stretched to facilitate what you need to get your work done, right? So there's a lot of rules that aren't actually that important, but they're kind of just general standards. And if you want to become overemployed and you want to stay overemployed, you have to be able to break those rules, and you have to get out of that mindset of this, my boss has to, I have to listen to every single thing my boss says, and I have to follow the rules exactly how they lay it out, right? For example, in a contract, if there's a code of conduct that you can't work multiple jobs, you're technically breaking a small rule there, right? Now, it's very vague and subjective, of course, but you do have to be able to have that mindset of, I can break rules. Let's say you have a meeting conflict. Sometimes you might have to break the rule of saying something like, I can't attend this meeting right now because I have to do this thing or that thing, right? So breaking rules will be necessary, and you don't have to do it all the time, but you will have to do it sometimes. Number 10, and one very important one that a lot of people don't consider because they get caught up in thinking, overemployment will make me so much money. This is going to be amazing. I'll be free finally. But number 10 is you have to be able to manage stress, and you will inevitably gain a lot of stress if you become overemployed. Now, there are some people that are luckier than others, and they have two very chill, very comfortable job positions where neither employer is micromanaging, neither employer is breathing down their neck about performance. However, even in those positions, there will sometimes come up things like meeting conflicts, times where you have to deliver deadlines within the same week or month at both companies, or all three companies, however many jobs you have, and this will be very stressful. You have to constantly monitor both of your laptops at all jobs, and you have to be turned on mentally a lot more than you are at just one position. So if you cannot manage stress, and if you do not have a high stress tolerance, and you don't have to have it before going into overemployment, but you will have to develop a high stress tolerance when you do become overemployed. So it's very important to be able to manage stress well. And number 11, as a bonus one, which I kind of just wanted to throw in there, is that overemployment can be very rewarding and fulfilling. You end up learning a lot. You learn everything about more industries, right? So you're working in multiple industries, you're gaining all these different skill sets, technology stacks, whatever, depending on your industry. And it's not just about money. You do advance yourself in terms of career-wise, you learn more things. And also, going off that last point about managing stress, you learn more about yourself. You learn more about mental fortitude and how to manage your workloads and your overall stress. And it overall does make you a better person because you are overall doing more, right? And you are doing something that technically is slightly breaking the rules. So it does shift your mindset a little bit, and it does make you think in different ways that you haven't thought before, right? You're thinking more outside the box. So it is something that will definitely benefit you in your life and the people around you. If you guys enjoyed this video, throw a like button on this video. Remember to comment down below if you have any comments, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.